Hi everyone. I've got a really exciting announcement to make today. It's certainly exciting for me, and I hope it will be for you too. I've been thinking a lot recently about what a large and loving community we are. I mean, your loving comments just pour out on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, and I'm just so grateful for every one of them and every one of you, because all of us, I think, are doing something to create a more loving world. And yes, certainly we set up the free 15-minute meditation every day, every evening at 7 o'clock UK time. And I know thousands of you join that all over the world to help to create a more loving world. And there's a lot of telepathy that goes on with that, because people report back that many of you can see a web of light which gets brighter and stronger every time you connect to that meditation. There's some wonderful, wonderful telepathy going on, sharing. And so I know that is making a difference in the world. But I started to think, what else can this large, loving community do that is truly practical on the ground? And so what I'm launching today is a new initiative called Pam Gregory Giving. And the aim of this is to, in practice on the ground, create more love, more charity, and also more fun and joy in our lives. So let me explain the background to this. With a good friend, good long-term friend, Nick, who's been helping me very much with this project. In fact, it was Nick who found this company less than 10 miles from here, which is just bizarre, that makes t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, mugs, etc. But please don't tune out, because there's a lot more to this than just products. But nevertheless, they make those, and they make their clothing with organic, sustainable cotton, which is what I'd want. And they also post worldwide in brown paper bags, not plastic, which I also love. So they're a highly ethical company. They have an incredibly impressive client list of the World Wildlife Fund and Greenpeace and many other very large clients. And so we really were thrilled when we discovered this company, because I've always kind of shied away from doing this sort of thing. But once I had reframed it, it took on a very different meaning and purpose. And so what I'm sharing with you today, this is the reveal. Don't worry, this isn't a stronogram. I'm going to stop here. So this is one of the t-shirts that I prefer white, actually, and because it's the colors are so sharp and it's beautiful material. And this one, New Earth Chick, all of them, what I've done is take so far about a dozen of my well-known sayings. Stay on your eagle's perch, lock onto love as your docking station, love more loudly, etc., etc. And this was one of them, New Earth Chick, because that came from I was explaining that many people who aren't aware of what's happening in the world, the very big changes, often say to me, "Well, I don't see anything changing. What's different?" And the analogy I used was, it's like staring at a chicken's egg, a hen's egg, and we've been watching it and watching it, and nothing seems to be changing. But then one day, the cracks start to appear, and this whole new life, a whole new biology emerges from the shell. The shell, which in astrology is ruled by Saturn, then becomes completely redundant and outgrown. So that's a really good analogy for us. And we are creating within ourselves a new biology, as many people are talking about. Lee Harris, Richard Rudd, many, many people, Nancy, Rebecca last night, talking about this new biology, this activation of the DNA. And so that's where that one came from. So another one, as I say, it's really beautiful quality. One of my favorites, love and joy are acts of defiance in a world that encourages misery. Love and joy are acts of defiance. And also that is on the back. We have mugs. They're really heavy duty mugs, actually. Starve out the scary, love in the good. Tote bags, and they come, all of these products come in a whole range of colors. This is another wonderful one. Look What Love Built. All of these, of course, have my branding on that is on my books, my YouTube channel, my website. I've sort of carried that spirograph image through. And of course, there has to be the hat, hashtag Look What Love Built, which is really fun. And one I absolutely had to do, which came from such a casual offhand remark, was I'm a Pambler. And the way this came about was I was getting philosophical in a video, and I said, I hope this doesn't turn into a ramble, or maybe I should call it a pamble. And then in the comments, people are saying, yes, we are the Pamblers. And it was just hilarious. So I had to do that one too. So, all of the sayings go across all of the products, and Nick and I are very, very excited. And as I say, Nick is going to help me run this. He's done a huge amount of the work at the coalface and putting the designs together. So shout out for Nick. So the big thing here is I am taking no financial benefit whatsoever from this. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for more income. I'm taking no financial benefit in kind either, no trips anywhere, etc. In fact, I'm actually paying more tax on my current business, but that's by the by. And so this is a heart-centered venture for me. This is all about the heart and creating more love and charity and fun and joy in the world. And just to linger on the fun and joy, can you imagine you're out at a conference or a big spiritual event or walking in a park somewhere and you spot a t-shirt you recognize? You'd go up and you'd laugh and you'd hug and you might make a new friend, and who knows where that would lead. I mean, this is truly Aquarian energy of friendships and networks and communities. So I think a lot could come from this, just in terms of, pure, simple joy. But in terms of charities, what we're doing, because after taxes and admin, of course, we have to pay tax in the UK. We've got admin charges, we've got, monthly accountants fees and hosting fees and this and that. After those, the net proceeds are all going to charity. I'm not going to take a penny of it. They are all going to charity. And we estimate, Nick and I, that between 70 to 80% of the incoming funds will be able to be donated to charities. And so far, and there's a link beneath this video, and you can go onto the website and start to explore, and there's a charities page on there. We have identified 5 charities that we'll certainly stick with for the next few months. And they are things like Centrepoint, which is a very important charity in central London. It's also, I think, across the UK, but it mainly operates in central London to help homeless young people who are literally young and sleeping on the streets. And that's not a safe place to be. They're incredibly vulnerable. So the charity helps to home them and give them lodgings, etc. Another one is a charity, Love Support Unite, for disabled children in Malawi. Another one is an orphanage in Nepal for the children living up in the mountains, the mountain people. And of course, that has a very special place in my heart with all the long treks I did when I was in my 20s. Beautiful mountains and beautiful people. So orphanage there. The other 2 are will send money to animals who are in very traumatic circumstances one way or another, and bringing them to safety and sanctuary. And again, being such a big animal lover, they touch my heart. Now, we will stick with those 5 charities for the next few months. Over time, we may gradually rotate them. But this is going to be a completely transparent initiative. So as I say, I'm taking no financial benefit. Whenever we make a donation to any of the charities, we will publish it on the website. In fact, there will be a new menu item on my pamgregory.com website that will link you to this as well. We will We will share the date and the amount of the donation to any particular charity. If they write back and say thank you, we'll share that too. But we're also setting up a Facebook page called Pam Gregory Giving, either today or tomorrow. There's a lot going on here. And we will share when we give those donations. We also love that page to be used for if you do spot somebody out and about and you recognize a t-shirt or a hoodie or a hat or a tote bag, take a photograph, share it on that social media page on Facebook. I'm only going to do it on Facebook. But did you make a new friend? Did you make a new connection? Do you share similar interests? Where's that going to lead you? It just feels like the fun and joy that we certainly need in the world, as well as the love and charity. So, I'm super excited about this. So, the other thing, just to touch on the astrology, there are reasons that I've chosen. I've just specifically chosen the 30th of June at 9 a.m. UK time on the clock. So that's British summertime. And I've chosen that date because, firstly, it has some spectacular aspects to my natal chart, and that's the biggest deal, if you like. Great to do with my soul's purpose in this life, because I really feel that this could become part of my legacy, and I'd very much love it to be part of my legacy, because I hope we can run this long term. So great aspects to my natal chart. Yes, I know Mercury has just moved retrograde, but it's barely done that. And anyway, I was born with Mercury retrograde, so that's never a big deal for me. And other aspects outweigh that, what I consider to be a very small transit. And so if I cast the chart for 9 a.m. on the 30th of June, for my location, not only has Jupiter literally just tipped into Leo. Leo, of course, is heart energy. So Jupiter expands the love, expands the heart energy. Jupiter is super happy in Leo, so I really wanted it to be in Leo, not at the end of Cancer. Venus is also still in Leo and right on the ascendant for that time and place. 9 a.m. my location, 30th of June. So the ascendant is in Leo, and again, spectacularly, that ascendant, which is the identity of this new initiative, is exactly conjunct my natal chart ruler. And Venus in Leo on the ascendant is to do, of course, Venus, your appearance, your clothing. But again, it's love. It's, Venus is the planet of love. And in Leo, it's the planet of sociability and fun and uplift and big heart energy. Yet again, so I really wanted Jupiter and Venus to be in Leo. And if I wait till much later in July, I'll miss that. The other things about the astrology on the day are the moon, which is the people. The moon is conjunct two dwarf planets very tightly. The first is Quawa, and Quawa is a dwarf planet that is very linked to creating order from chaos, but doing it through joy, doing it through song and dance to lift the collective consciousness from chaos, which we certainly are in now, and the 3D level, and using community, people coming together with song and dance to lift the frequency into joy to then manifest. Ixion is another personal dwarf planet favorite of mine. By the way, Quawa is also the higher octave of Jupiter. It's a higher level of expansion to Jupiter's expansion of this heart energy. So it's great stuff. Ixion, I love, is very rebellious. And the main symbolism is, are the rules we are playing by the correct ones, the right ones? And Ixion tends to go beyond, it leaves mainstream life and finds its own bliss through simple joy, kind of whistling a tune with a knapsack on its back and following its spiritual passion to find its own bliss. And that, I think, is absolutely fabulous for where we are headed. Now, I know the other thing to say is as well, Certainly Dr. David Clements, Nancy Rebecca recently. I mean, many people are talking about this big surge in evolutionary energy that we are going through right now. Certainly June, July, and Nancy felt it was moving into August as well. Dr. David Clements and other people I've heard believe that it peaks at the end of June. So I wanted to catch that peak and also catch the crescendo of astrological energy in July that I'll be talking about at huge length, and so will every astrologer. So it's a culmination, it's a crescendo of hundreds of years of transits happening in July. It's a very big deal. So I wanted to catch that energy at the beginning, not after exactitude had passed. Now, I know there could be some big dislocations and disruptions in the world. I mean, just a few days after this, we're going to have Mars conjunct Uranus, and who knows how that will manifest. Certainly, it'll manifest as fireworks on the 4th of July, literally, in the US. But there could be many collapses, dislocations, disruptions very soon after this launch. It doesn't matter, because I'm not thinking of the short term here. I'm thinking of the very long term. I'm thinking of my legacy. I'm thinking of the big picture and what we can do as a large, loving community to come together and create more love, more charity, more joy, more fun, not just for ourselves, but for the world. So, as I say, the link for this website where you'll find everything is below. Big shout out again for Nick for all the work he's done. And I really hope you'll join us. We'll keep you posted every step of the way as we go through this, but this is literally ground zero. This is day one. So I hope you'll join us in the celebrations. And I just want to thank you for all your loving loyalty and all that you individually are doing in the world to make this a more loving world. I know that every single one of you, simply by your state of being, is making a difference in the world to create something way better than we have had in our lifetimes. So God bless, and we'll keep you posted. Super exciting. Bye for now.